What's up, guys? Kevin Cage back with another XRP update. Let's dive in. First things first, quick look at coinmarketcap.com. The total crypto market is almost at $1.6 trillion. Also, my favorite coin, being sarcastic here, Tether USDT, the stablecoin, so-called stablecoin, even though it is just a peg coin, and it is only as stable as the value of the US dollar that is pegged to. We can see it keeps printing, and the circulating supply is up from yesterday from that 32 bill all the way up to 33.1 billion. Keep in mind, the market capitalization is trying to be closely pegged between a ratio of 1-to-1, so it's ideally always very, very similar. The year is 2021, Bitcoin is over $50,000, and we have all these alts just waiting to bubble up. Arguably, many have absolutely gone. If you guys saw the chart I posted yesterday on Twitter, Cardano doing 3,000 plus increase since March 2020 alone. It is my opinion and my belief that XRP will have its day in the near future, and that is not financial advice. So it's pretty crazy to think that, years ago we saw Tether's market capitalization. I remember when it was like in the top 20 assets down here, kind of like where USDC, US dollar coin, is today. And obviously they're, in my opinion, are a lot more regulated, of course, by Circle, Center, all of these groups in the United States. And I'm just a lot more concerned for the future of Tether. Maybe it's all good and great and I'm just being paranoid, but so be it. I'd rather, much rather hedge my risk and just be safer there on that end. So we're going to keep an eye on this. The higher Tether prints, typically the market can just keep going and keep printing. But please be aware, because anytime Tether printing ends, historically speaking, the market is followed by a large retracement. So please keep that in mind. A good page to follow on Twitter to keep up with all of that, or at least get some beginner's data, is Crypto Whale on Twitter. All right. Right here, just wanted to point this out for newcomers, and then it's going to lead into my next point because we have some big news. So this quote was actually from a recent video that Bank XRP shared today, and it was actually from a gentleman leading Ripple X, the initiative to help building on the XRP ledger SDKs, get a bunch of developers. So it's not just the company Ripple that is building liquidity and building value into the XRP ecosystem. Fun fact, this is years ago. All links are sourced below as well if you're curious. In the quote here that the gentleman at Ripple X says, and goes into my next point, and this is big. Think about what's possible, not just about replacing the old world. This is what Ripple's doing, guys. Ripple, or specifically, the company Ripple, yes, but specifically the digital asset in the technology of the XRP ledger, XRP, takes this innovation truly from 0 to 1, not, 1 to 2, not that next step. It's true innovative thinking. So just like Peter Thiel is how you pronounce his name. He's obviously a multi-billionaire, one of the first investors in Facebook. I'm certain many of you have heard of him, and actually one of the co-founders of PayPal along with Elon Musk back in the day. So yes, these gentlemen are connected, and I'm sure many of you already know, even per all the pictures I have in the links below. This was years ago. News today from OpenCoin, a startup that later became Ripple, by the way, that today launched its own digital currency called Ripple. We can see Andreessen Horowitz, a huge VC fund that invested into Ripple back in the day. OpenCoin also received investments from early stage Wing Founders Fund, a venture firm owned by PayPal co-founder Peter Thiel. All connected. I don't know why anybody's surprised at this point. I just wanted to point this out for newcomers. And then even on a great website right here is the Ripple timeline. This is developed by Leonidas in the community. It's all sourced if you want to go vet it and check yourself, dating back to really XRP's inception, or even Ryan Fugger's developments back in 2004. Way before Bitcoin. So interesting to note that, so just wanted to point that out. And then right here, September 2012, OpenCoin, Chris Larsen, executive chairman of Ripple, and of course, Jed McCaleb, who's today the CTO of Stellar. Well, they co-founded the corporation OpenCoin, and it began the development of the Ripple protocol. And of course, the terminology and the verbiage and the jargon has changed a lot. And the Ripple network was essentially born, and the XRP ledger was born shortly after. So very exciting. It's all dot connecting until it isn't. Right here, Crypto Whale, and this is the page, this is a must follow if you're new to crypto Twitter, and I never had Twitter until finally, getting into the crypto space. It can be a cesspool, but it is super helpful for research people. So, XRP pumped to a high of $3.84 on the highest exchange, as we know, in January 2018, going from, 20 cents to $3 plus in a matter of 3 or 4 weeks. So when XRP moves, it moves. And, I know the feeling of selling an asset and, just giving up on it and chasing gains, and then it finally takes off. So please decide what is best for you and be smart. Today, the total crypto market cap is 1.5 trillion, and XRP is worth only 55 cents. Today, even just 50 cents, 53 cents. That is insane. And as I say, the longer the base, the higher in space is my personal belief. And if I saw anything fundamentally wrong with the technology, I'd be concerned. But guess what? We're seeing more and more year-over growth for RippleNet. We're seeing projections. And right now, it's just this lawsuit that is hanging over XRP like a glass ceiling. I don't care if you're bullish or bearish short term. If you're watching this channel and you've actually done several years of research, we are both extremely bullish, or at least optimistic, in the future of XRP, provided it continues to keep this growth up. We've only done $2 billion in notional value so far, and their projections are coming out for $750 billion as just a start. And even in that RippleX interview, that Bank XRP, go subscribe to his channel, Bank XRP, they discussed, talking about, of course, displacing that $10 trillion market as well with the pre-funded accounts. They're starting small and aiming very, very big, people. So XRP is very undervalued in comparison with other alts. And with this type of metric, of course, kind of comparing and doing a ratio or whatever, you can see XRP should be worth over $6.75 right now if you were following these numbers. Is that outlandish? No, not at all. I mean, even the fib extensions, the 4.236, show $10 to $15. So I think it's just simply a matter of time. And anybody that goes, but market capitalization is a fugazi. It's fairy dust. It is just something to measure equities in the stock market. They have they're a different asset class. It's a different beast. There's not that much money that's liquid in the market, even per the study that JP Morgan did years ago. When the crypto market cap, today we're at 1.5 trillion with a T, when we're at 300 billion with a B, small, literally like 1/5 of that amount. When we were there, they said that there's only about 50 billion out of the 300 billion valuation that was actually liquid. So keep that in mind, all right? There's tons of slippage that could occur with these order books. In the future, we're going to have a different ecosystem when there's proper depth of order books, I should say, and ample liquidity. Right here, this was actually the interview. Good, I'm happy I pulled this up. So this is the interview I would love for you guys to watch if you have time. I get it. I watch everything on 2x speed because I'm a maniac, if you can't tell. But right here, fostering adoption, coexisting with existing payment schemes, but we need to foster innovation, not just replace it with something slightly better. This is what these central banks, the 40 and 50 central banks that Ripple is actively working with and has been for the past several years, needs to focus on. So really, I encourage you guys to look at this, focusing on innovation, interoperability, but also policy. You have to understand, central banks are by nature very, very conservative. They're not going to want to go to some 100% decentralized ecosystem. They're going to want control. And granted, there's going to be trade-offs. So with the control in a centralized system, yes, they'll have some control. They can have more privacy, maybe even more scalability. But there's still issues of trust. So they're going to have to break down their borders a little bit and meet this new financial system halfway. And that is what Ripple understands. And that is why they're building open landscapes. So keep that in mind. The open landscapes win every single time. Eventually, these tier one banks and this monopoly that's being held over the cross-border market, $155 trillion, is slowly getting chipped away. And everybody in this community is witnessing it firsthand. Right here. So Banco Santander, we know Ana Botín, of course, has spoken highly of Ripple and XRP many, many times. And I want to go over this and just show you a quick clip, like 10 seconds, and I'll show you the recent news. So this is, of course, Jim Cramer back in 2019. And I'm sure you guys know Ana Botín, Group Executive Chairman of Banco Santander. Keep in mind, Banco Santander is an early RippleNet partner as well as an investor, one of the biggest banks that most, Americans, or at least in the United States, have never heard of.
Now, you run the largest bank that many people in America have never heard of. Can you just talk about the scale of what Banco Santander offers?
I'm just kidding. I stole that. All right. So anyways, right here, guys, Bank XRP, yet again, Santander, Ana Botín appointed as the new EBF president now. So we can see right here, Ana Botín was appointed executive chairman of Santander in 2014, having previously been CEO of Santander UK 2010 to 2014 and executive chairman of Banesto 2002 to 2010. She joined Santander after working at JP Morgan in New York. Again, another huge financial capital in the world, and she is a board member of Coca-Cola Company, sits on the advisory board of MIT. MIT runs an XRP validator, deeply ingrained with, of course, the Algorand Foundation, another asset that I absolutely love. Can you see all the dots connecting? MIT, don't even get me started on the things that MIT is working on. It's just absolutely insane. I also am very interested in all the machine learning progress that will be with blockchain. It's so silly that people actually doubt this technology because price can, for a certain asset can sit still for a month. and then all of a sudden you'll come back a year and realize, you just missed 9,000%. So things happen quickly when in fact they do. You have to look at the macro. When in doubt, zoom out. So I was just kind of looking at her LinkedIn, just being a little stalker as usual. And even this was an older article just published on a website of Bank XRP's YouTube video, as well as Stephen Bull from the DIEP, if you guys recognize his handle right here, both phenomenal, long-time researchers in the XRP community. And of course, she was even quoted to say a lot of things in this, specifically about XRP. So, Ripple's blockchain-based solution has no limitation. It works, it is safe, and it is fully compliant. So we've watched endless videos on her discussing all of this. Just wanted to point that out. Next, the Bank of International Settlements, aka the central bank of all central banks, and SWIFT, the dinosaur, to host ISO 222 hackathon. We do know that, funny enough, Ripple, the company, is one of the first and only that I know of DLT-based firms, blockchain-based firms, that are actually part of the ISO governing board about breaking down borders, making messaging with rich data, easier, and then guess what? Ripple comes in with the XRPL and allows settlement to actually happen within 3 seconds with finality. We can see right here this API hackathon searching for new ways to make cross-border payments faster, cheaper, and more transparent. And I know many groups that are already working on this. Very versatile fintechs. And we're almost done here, guys. Anderzel, definite follow on Twitter. Jed McCaleb sold 38 million XRP the other day on February 14th. Great news. Hope the momentum continues so we get rid of him sooner than later. Of course, this is a concern for many holders in the ecosystem, at least for short term, because we do want him to get rid of all of that because there's tons of selling pressure on the price of XRP. So whatever narratives are at play, there sure are a lot that suppress the price of XRP. The technology is still far superior to the majority of digital assets. And if you have a digital asset that may be faster, more efficient, anything like that, there are many other considerations as an investor that you're looking at. You're looking at also the people. You're also looking at the network effects that are already integrated with hundreds of exchanges and higher liquidity that was developed from the ground up. There's just a lot of things to consider. So keep in mind, guys, I own like 30 plus assets right now. I know that's really stupid because it's far too blanketed, but I have shiny object syndrome. I deeply research every single asset that I throw money in, and I believe just simply holding them for a few years will allow many of us, and this is not financial advice, many of us to essentially be retired and even just take collateralized debt positions and live off the interest of our investments that they even yearn on a yearly basis. So very exciting, and just want to point that out. So you can see all the transactions, just so you know, of the 38 billion and all of this information on the dates, and keep an eye on this on XRP Explorer. So you can look at these yourselves. You can keep an eye on Jed's, selling for XRP. Keep in mind, he signed a contract so he can only legally sell so much at a time so it doesn't completely tank XRP price. And when he's done selling his XRP, because he owns a lot and he used to own even more, when nobody's selling, what happens? Well, there's going to be ideally more buyers. And when there's more buyers than sellers, what happens? Price goes up. We're focusing on long-term people. I don't want to be a moon channel. All right, and then last but not least, crypto whales. Some of these crypto projects are not even trying to look legitimate anymore. Just talking about scams. Very, very funny if you guys want a good laugh of the same guy in the same picture. So love this. Hopefully you enjoyed. Be sure to like this video, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.